Now, to start off, let me say I really enjoy this game for two reasons, the least of which is its price. But moreover, it really reminds me of Darkest Dungeon, which is a game I have to admit, it was one of the first that I downloaded to my Switch when I got it. But it's similar enough, yet unique enough that it doesn't come off as like a remake or a tribute. This game, Plague Road, despite, like I said, already being supremely cheap, has enough of those same elements. It combines elements of the dungeon crawling, the perma-death system, which, I mean, as infuriating as it is really satisfying. It's got elements of base building, but then it also incorporates elements of action and tactics, as well as RPG. Instead of just managing a company like in Darkest Dungeon, you actually are a protagonist who is a plague doctor who, in his own minimal kind of way, is trying to save or at least salvage the world. How he does this is going through randomly generated dungeons, which are actually forests and knolls and castles and things like that, so it takes it out of that dungeony realm in order to find survivors, which he allows to stay on this abandoned farm that has been uncovered. The survivors that he gathers actually contribute to gameplay in two different ways. They can be actively incorporated into the party, providing their own type of strategy, whether it's ranged or melee, as well as their skills that they can have depending on what type of level the character is in, whether they're common, bronze, silver, or gold, which is a whole different system that's fairly unique. Or they can be actually retired into certain buildings to work and live, and that upgrades the buildings, which provides your main character as well as party members with the ability to learn new skills and have boosted stats. Now, as much as I do enjoy this game, and believe me, I really do enjoy this game, especially as a casual sort of RPG dungeon crawler that you can literally just pick up and put down, there are some elements, that start to wear on you just a little bit. One of them is the fact that the enemy characters really aren't that diverse. There's not a big portfolio of enemies to fight, especially when you get into a certain area. There's probably 3 or 4 total. And if you're crawling through these dungeons and you're trying to basically go and prestige yourself into being able to get to the next dungeon, running into those same enemies it doesn't really affect gameplay, but it's kind of monotonous. You've fought them probably 1,000 times. And in a system that's not based on experience, there's no real reason to grind, so it's not very fulfilling. Another one is the battle mechanic that we see at the top of the screen, and that is the 5 little circles where the characters are. This is like your next up for battle lineup. And yes, it is based off the speed dynamic, so that's well done, but there's only 5. Now the thing is, you can have up to 5 characters in your party. So if there's 11 characters on the field, and you can only see 5 of them, including your own, sometimes you don't even know where an enemy is at as far as who's up to attack next, so it's really, really, really hard to use this strategy aspect of the strategy game. The other part is that highlighting an enemy doesn't highlight it even if it is in one of those 5 spaces on the next to attack lineup. Because that little tiny detail of a highlight function doesn't exist in this game, that does mean it's either guesswork if you're first to bat, or it's memory if you've already gone through a round of combat. These things really aren't that hugely impactful, but one thing that will frustrate you while playing this game is the fact that because this is not a dungeon grinding type game with an experience-based battle system, the regularity of enemy encounters in Plague Road is actually way too often. But honestly, other than that, there's not much wrong with this game. If you do enjoy dungeon crawlers, you'll probably really enjoy this game. If you enjoy tactics games, I have to say the battle system, other than that one minor detail of the 5-space lineup, you'll enjoy it. It is a decent battle system, and the way the screen actually rotates for you to give you a kind of a top-down view when you're making your tactical decisions, and then a side view when it's actually demonstrating them, it's really good. It almost goes to a cinematic. And I thought that was a great detail, especially for a game that's $1.99. In all honesty, there's really not much negative I can say about it. I had to try to dig through those points earlier in the review just to have something to say, because I do want to be honest, and I do want to let you know what you're getting into if you get it. But other than that, it's just a pretty good game. Well, that's it for the review of Plague Road, and honestly, I hope that you didn't only find it entertaining, I hope you found it helpful, because this is a game that I think anyone who's interested in elements of tactics, especially dungeon crawling or base building, you'd probably actually enjoy this game, even if it's just to enjoy the experience of a new developer's take on this kind of a game. So, if you found it entertaining or educational, feel free to throw me a like, and don't forget to subscribe to stay updated to the latest content. I try and put these videos out as often as I can because I think we need them. I think too many people are calling game reviews when they're pretty much just reading the back of the box. These things come from gameplay because I love gaming and I'm a gamer and I want to help out fellow gamers and not make them waste their money on games that don't need to be played. Anyway, that's it for Budget Gamer. Thanks for watching.